everybody. I didn't want to make a video like this, but I have to because I do not like what is going on with this whole completionist thing. Some really bad things are popping up, and he's starting to show a bad face. At least the organization that he is the face of is doing some bad things. Now, everyone knows about the Open Hand Foundation that he created because of dementia that his mother had and she passed away from. Good, all that's good and fine. But then again, he had a golf tournament run by his family since 2003, who, according to what is being shown by pictures and everything, Karl, the person that I'm getting the information from, says around $50,000 was gotten from them by sponsors who paid up to $10,000 a pop to put their sponsorships out there, to put their, basically ads in that whole place, posters, that type of thing. So that's about $50K that's going through. And from what I'm seeing from Karl, what he's saying here is throughout this is their thing that they do. This is the freaking golf tournament that they show. Let me just get it in higher quality so you can see the better quality photos. So this is their thing. And the Open Hand Foundation did not show up until 2014, and this was around since 2003, whatever. And if I may have continually run, like it says, May 11th of this year, they have never had less than around $50,000 for sponsorships. Like I said, sponsors pay money for this. So according to them, everything goes to the Open Hands Foundation, and so far things have shown, as he shows through here. Like these are the tax filings that's Open Hands Foundation showing up in August 2014. The PBD West is a charity event that they're running. This one says that, Coca-Cola, all these big brands, they show their people there, they show sponsors, can get their money. And according to things they're showing there in 2022, the tax filings, they did receive money from these people. But the problem that ends up happening is through all of this, as you can see, here are some of the partnerships that they're showing here. $10,000 for legacy recognition, the featured partnerships, the big players. There's 8 players in there that the company can give. Anywhere from minimum $750 to $10,000. Coca-Cola, Monster, etc. is doing the $10,000, so they're getting anywhere from $30,000 to $50,000 every year, supposedly for charity. And from what is showing up on here, there they go. They're getting $33,000 in 2014, the Open Hands Foundation got $33,000 in, and that was supposedly from the PDF, the 990 PF for the organization, saying that 33,000, 60,000, 40,000, 31,000 were being popped in, as he's saying here.
Foundation receives between $30,000 to $60,000 per event. This is likely underreported, but we'll get to that later.
And that's just the PDF Foundation, the foundation that runs that golf tournament, is saying anywhere from $30,000 to $60,000 is what they're receiving.
For now, let's just
underreported for a
this
reason.
Is accurate. From these years, we can get a pretty good approximation of what this cup normally raises.
Yeah.
In 2018, Indieland began, and for its first year, it raised $55,000, at least according to Jirard. This money was also...
And here's the thing. The first couple of years, the first 2 years, they actually said how much they got from the specific live stream. After that, nothing happened. Why? Are they just getting lazy? Or are they something? That's what they're trying to find out. Everything seems to be getting worse for them. There's no real proof yet, but if things are investigated, like if the government actually investigates them, I'm pretty sure they're going to find proof. A government audit, an IRS audit, will find irregularities if they are there to be found.
Supposed to go to the Open Hand Foundation. So naturally, we should see an increase in yearly revenue, which
yes,
we do.
Absolutely.
In 2018, Open Hand had a yearly revenue of $113,000. If we assume...
So assuming that they're getting about $30,000 to $50,000, that means, that makes sense.
That $55,000 came from Indieland, that leaves $58,000 from the PBD West Cup, which is in line with previous years. However, something strange happened in 2019. In 2019, Indieland raised $109,000, doubled.
And that's just from the charity event. So that's $109,000 from charity event. Assuming they get 50, like I said, even on a low year, 40,000, they should be around 150K. Remember this, if they're receiving money still from the PBD, the full amount, which is usually no less than $50,000, like sometimes $30,000, but usually since 2018 or so, it has been $60,000. That's it. They say, because every year you're getting more and more sponsorships, anywhere from 50 to 60K, but they're not getting that much. They only show this much. Look.
In theory, this should cause a drastic rise in the yearly revenue for the Open Hand Foundation, but mysteriously, revenue hardly raises at all. In the 2019 filing, Open Hand only raised
123. How does that make any sense? Because every single year that PDF has been running, it's been $50,000 to $60,000, and all of a sudden they're only receiving 14K from the PDF. Where did all the money go? Let's assume they only did $30,000. Let's assume. Where's the other 16K going? What's happening here? What is going on?
$23,000, which means that somehow the Golf Cup now only raised $14,000. What's also interesting about 2019 is that it's the last year that Indieland, or the Completionist, publicly stated what Indieland had raised in total. From this point on, they make no mention of this, which is strange. You would think a charity event would state how much they raised after it had finished, and they did proudly do this for the first 2 years. But then, as soon as the tax filings became weird, we started hearing nothing.
Because everything after 2019 started becoming very strange. They started all of a sudden almost not receiving any money at all from the Golf Foundation. And later on, there's the charity that's run by Jamie Lee Curtis, who was giving Open Hand Foundation a grant, like, I don't know, maybe 15, 20K, and things are getting weird, man.
However,
things are getting freaking weird.
Onwards, Indieland fundraised through Tiltify, which shows the total donation amount. On top of this, all bits, subs, merchandise, and indie game sales.
And that's another thing. Supposedly all bits, subs, purchases of everything, every single thing that is during that stream is supposed to go to them. And it doesn't seem to. It's weird.
To Open Hand too.
And that's why we're here today. Bits, donations, subs, buy the shirt,
that's what
buy the coin, buy indie games, all that stuff. All of it is going to the benefit of helping others.
What does that mean? 100% of it. If you say some of it, most of it, then you could kind of fudge the percentages. All of it means every single last red cent goes to it.
For this charity event, so thank you for joining us.
As I just mentioned, Jirard never tells us what these extra revenue sources amount to. But we do get a clue from Indieland lead coordinator Michael Barrett. He refers to an article talking about Indieland 2022, which raised $90,000 via direct donations through Tiltify.
Okay, that's good. 90K is a good amount.
The article author uses a different Tiltify figure to state that Indieland raised $80,000, but Michael clarifies that there's other methods of raising money. They actually raised over $100,000. So at minimum, we can add at least $10,000.
And that was someone from Open Hands Foundation said they raised more than $100,000
raised through Tiltify. However, again, I suspect this figure is likely higher, which is why they don't specify what it is. Now let's look at 2021. Indieland raised $113,000.
$113K, that's a lot.
They take off around $2,000 for Tiltify fees. On top of this, every single year, the Syzygy Foundation, the charity founded by Jamie Lee
Curtis, is giving them a grant
to Open Hand. In 2021, they gave them $25,000.
25K was given. Why do we know this? Because Jamie Lee Curtis actually runs her charities correctly and actually puts line items for every single bit of money that's given out, which a charity should do. We don't get this from the Open Hands Foundation. That was what's so annoying. They are taking the trust and just basically stomping on it, pretty much.
If you add these together, you get around $136,000. But shockingly, for the entire year of 2021, Open Hand only received $136,000, which means, again, the Golf Cup hardly raised.
Basically, the Golf Cup didn't give them anything. Why? The Golf Cup every single year is getting from 40 to 60K around there. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt, but on average it's 60K from what Karl jobst is saying. On average, it's 60K every single year that they're receiving, and all of that is supposed to be going to directly to Open Hands. It's supposed to be run directly by the Open Hands Foundation, like everything being given to them. So let's say that there's some administrative fees. That is all supposedly on Open Hands, because apparently PDF doesn't do anything because they're a private charity, so they're not giving out anything. They're not showing any numbers, which means that they can fund the numbers all they want because they're a private charity.
Anything at all. But we know that's not the case, because we have photos of every single year the Golf Cup has been running since 2014. And we know how many sponsors they have and what
how
they
many
pay.
sponsors they
not
have.
only that,
Absolutely.
This means all the bits, subs, and all of that extra revenue that Jirard promised us would go to Open Hand wasn't sent over either. Now,
and here's the thing. The Indie Plus thing, that was through one specific site that it was raised. So that does not include any of the money that you supposedly raised through the charity drive of donations, bits, subs, like the bits, the subs, the buying of actual things. It's just there's money that is not being shown.
The golf tournament, and I won't go into all of.
And as a charity, you have to be 100% open with this. Legally, you have to, as a public charity, legally, you have to be 100% open with every single cent you spend. That's the bad part.
Of the ways the Completionist and his family seem to be stealing donations, but I suggest you keep a lookout for an update video by Some Ordinary Gamers, who will release even more information on that very soon.
Is gonna happen.
So let's look at the 2021 Golf Cup sponsors. It's had 2 diamond sponsors, which were $8,000 each, 1 platinum sponsor, which is $7,500, and 6 gold sponsors, which are $6,500 each. Just from those 3 tiers alone, ignoring all of the other sponsors, all of the other registration fees, all of the other money raised from the raffle and auctions, and ignoring any direct donations which should be received during a charity event, we already have a total of more than $60,000. And all of that money...
That's just for the sponsors. That's not regular people who are going in there and giving some money. Not regular people who are going in there who are paying $750. That's not any of that. That's just the sponsors. So a $60K minimum right there for 2021 for the most recent years, and anywhere maybe an extra 10 to 15K beyond that
seems to have vanished. It certainly didn't go to OpenHand, or at the very least, for some reason, isn't showing up on their filings. All of the filings from 2019 onwards show the same pattern. Almost all of the revenue raised can be attributed to Indieland, and hardly anything seems to come from the
That's
golf
really
club,
bad.
despite photos
That's
clearly
really
showing
bad.
it has massive sponsors paying up to $10,000 each. Certainly, tens of thousands of dollars at least in donations every single year are going missing. The question is how
This is
and where.
really bad
Everything
for
raised
him.
from Indieland is through electronic means. This makes it very hard to hide. And
Well, yeah, from that part, they're not going to be able to hide a darn thing. So, like, all of this basically is to say, right here, like
sitting
this.
in an account somewhere that still hasn't been
That money, this $500,000, $655,000 is just sitting in an account. It's basically, it isn't technically stolen, but ethically, it's pretty much stealing. Ethically, it's as close to stealing as you can get. People gave their money so you can give it out. You're technically, for a 501c3, you're supposed to be giving out minimum 10% of what you give. You're supposed to be giving it out in some charitable way. Minimum. And they haven't given a damn cent. That's the bad part. If you're doing nothing wrong, okay, but you're making every 501c3 be questioned now because you are doing some stupid stuff. This is just my opinion, of course.
donated or accounted for, and we have hundreds of thousands of dollars from the golf tournament that has simply vanished into thin air. And this is why I think the Completionist and the Open Hand Foundation have been completely silent. Anything they say at this point is probably going to be used against them.
And they
simply
need
because
scrutiny.
the truth
They
is looking
need more
really,
scrutiny.
really bad. Almost everyone is screaming at them just to donate the money, which should be pretty easy to do.
It doesn't make sense. Why not just, okay, the jig is up, just donate it. If you supposedly still have the money, just donate
Everybody,
it. What's the excuse
myself
for not
included, just
donating
donate
it?
the damn
But
money.
they don't want any
You
more
have
attention
it.
being drawn to this. They hope people at worst will think that Indieland raised some money and didn't donate it for a few years. They can live with that. What they don't want is people, especially the authorities, looking into the golf tournament and all of that sponsorship money. I've heard many people say this could just be negligence or ignorance or laziness, but I can assure you, this is not the case. This fraudulent activity has
this
been
is
going on for
malice.
at least 10, and
This
it's
is
not just
malice.
Indieland. Both events were lying and saying they were contributing funds when they weren't. The golf cup was taking in donations without contributing any of the money it raised long
That's
before
not
Indieland
good at
even
all.
started. And
You're
when
not supposed to
Indieland
be
came
doing
along,
that at
it did
all.
the exact same thing. This doesn't
Like,
happen
that's just
accidentally.
horrible, man.
This
You don't do
absolutely
that.
needs to be investigated by the authorities. And the only way that happens is if the Open Hand Foundation is reported. I'm going to put a link to where you can rate.
I'm gonna put that link down below too. I urge you to report them because here's the thing. If it ends up being that nothing happened, I will apologize myself. I barely I was wrong. Things seemed weird, but you're on the up and up. Well, nothing was found. And if you have nothing to hide, then nothing's gonna come out of the IRS taking a look at it. If you guys are defending, like there's always gonna be someone defending, which is fine. Defending the completionist because he's a nice guy and everything. I don't deny that part. But if you want them to be held accountable for everything that they're doing, let them get audited by the IRS. Let them get audited by the people who are meant to be watching over what they're doing, because we have to hold their feet to the fire. They're a 501c3. They have a big tax loophole because they don't have to pay any taxes because they're supposed to be giving it in charity to other people. They're not these wealthy people that are just gonna. Basically, it almost seems that they're just trying to amass wealth, even if technically legally they can't. That's pretty much what they're doing. They're amassing wealth. For what reason? I don't know. It doesn't matter. You're supposed to give that money as a charity. You've been saying every single year you've been doing it. And since 2021, the completionist has known that no money's been going through. It doesn't take 2 years to figure out where you're going to put the money. It doesn't take that long. Maybe a year. I could give them a year. By 2022, something should have been done. 10, 15K, whatever, given to somebody as a grant. Given to an organization as a grant. I mean, if other charities can do this so easily and so quickly, why can't you? That is my question. And yes, I did file a complaint about their charitable organization. I did file it myself. You should as well. If you want every single charity to be held to a higher standard, which they all should, report them. Thank you so much. This is the Mad Salvi. I know this is probably going to get me a lot of hate, but I need to make this video. I needed to make this video. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.